Hey, good afternoon. Saturday, April 4th. Still keeping track what day it is. Had to look at that for a while. So, yeah, how are you today? Are you taking control of your day? Have you taken control of your day? Taking control of your thoughts, attitudes, optimism? Are you being optimistic? Are you arguing with yourself? Are you arguing for your limitations? Because guess what? You don't have to, because they're yours. Now, that's pretty jacked up, isn't it? I'm not real happy about not having my hair cut because, well, what can you do, right? I could shave it off. There's always something. There's always something you can do. So taking control of your day, like I said yesterday, sometimes taking control means letting go. And letting go also means you're in control, because there's certain things you can't control, like this pandemic, right? There's things about it you can control. And so it's interesting because we go through all these waves of the grieving process, because life changed as we know it. So the egos rise, and then all of the grief of the people all the things that you thought of before come back. And it makes you think of things that, what if? But the most important thing, I believe, is that we are human beings that survive. We will get through this, and you have to remember that. You can't keep coming up with limitations. And it's funny because even talking with family, trying to help and trying to come up with solutions for things. For instance, using technology to communicate through Zoom or whatever medium you use, whether it's Facebook. There's like 100 things that do the same thing. Have you noticed that? I use Marco Polo. Marco Polo is an app where you can kind of text message each other, only it's done, it's just a video. So only one of you can talk at a time, but you can tell when the other one's talking, and it stores it, and it doesn't store it on your device, which is pretty cool. There's one called House Party. I have not tried that yet, but that's where you can actually have groups of people on there. And I think you can be live with each other. And of course, there's the most common one that people are using today is called Zoom, which I've been using for years, actually, because for the past 4 years or so, I've been pursuing a real estate career, and I've attended a lot of seminars and a lot of coaching sessions. And so this is nothing new to me, and it's nothing new to a lot of people who are used to working from home and who are used to, or not used to it. I mean, you never get used to it because it always requires discipline. But the thing is, so we make the best of things, and one of the things is by helping other people, and also by trying to continue as much as possible business as usual. For those of us who have businesses, where at least part of our business can be done from home and virtually, there are people who are not able to work at all because they're in the hair business, for instance, or they do nails, or they do waiting or waitressing, or any sort of food industry where people congregate, and that's part of your business. Or how about all of the concerts and weddings and ceremonies and all of the different venues and merchants, that actually are, they depend on that business. In real estate, for instance, to buy and sell a home, the only thing is people want to physically look at the place. But now we've got lots of technology that allows us to do virtual tours of the house. And granted, it might not be like being there, but it's the next best thing. And fortunately, there's provisions and rules and laws and procedures that have been put in place with contracts, at least in the state of California, to where you don't have to finalize it. You get all your deposit back if you, upon physical inspection, you don't like it. So anyway, there's safeguards that are put in place. But what's really interesting is keeping this optimistic attitude going, because it is really very vital. It's extremely important, and I keep saying that a lot. And I feel like I have to keep affirmations going. I've got to keep telling myself that, because I don't know. I think a lot of us were conditioned, whether it was the way you were raised or the way you taught yourself or the experiences you've had in life, to have this limited thinking. And I do mean that. I do mean limited thinking. When it comes to a solution, there's always a naysayer. There's always somebody that thinks, oh no, you can't do that because, right? And so rather than being sensitive to that, you have to just calmly and patiently explain to them that it's better than the alternative, and it is definitely a good alternative. So, like I said, we all want to be as optimistic as possible in order to get through this. If you want to be upset and boo-hoo, is that what you want, really? Is that your life? Is that the life you want to live? And again, another thing that I said was just kind of cold is death. I mean, ultimately, we're all going to die, you know? Worst case scenario. Not from coronavirus, but in life. We only live, 80-something years on average, right? And so are you making every day, every week, every month, every year count? Are you leaving a legacy for your kids? Are you setting a good example for yourself, for everybody else? Are you truly leading other people by talking about their limitations? It's one thing to be fearful. It's one thing to be concerned about what's going on because it's real, it's serious. And it's quite another thing to be defeated by it and to be paranoid and be paralyzed and not being able to move. So, like I said, extremely important. Recognize that, but move on. Figure out a way that you can move. We need to be mobile. We need to be optimistic. We need to be productive. If you have a business that can be altered or modified in such a way that will allow you to work virtually without going out in public, fantastic. In my business, I personally would love to find a way to work with sellers. If you're thinking of selling your house, I'm going to work out a way to where we can work this way through video. I will show you pictures, how we need to clear things out of which spaces, and how we can market the property, and how we can do it all without having anybody leave their house, including the realtor. I'm not, I don't know about you, but when we're getting this directive to stay in as much as possible, that means everyone. It doesn't mean with the exception of this or that. I went out jogging. I did. I went out jogging today in the rain. I went out into a field. I wasn't even 100 feet from anyone ever, but at the same time, I wore a mask around me. I think it's still reasonable. We can go outside, but it's starting to go that direction. It's like you don't know what you're breathing in the air. And then when I came home, I made sure I took everything off before I went any further into the house. So I'm taking these safeguards to make sure that germs aren't following me somewhere, because you never know. This is a weird thing, isn't it? It's very strange. And then I'll go online and I'll see somebody in some other part of town or whatever else showing something out in public. And I'm thinking, okay, did you really have to do that? Because I'd be more impressed with somebody that's got innovative ideas and setting an example, because it's extremely important that we stay home. There are a lot of opportunities, tons of opportunities. One of the things I want to start doing also is doing interviews with people that are limited by what they can do, offering suggestions on grooming, on how like women can get by, how they can make it through week by week without, they're not able to color their hair. And my daughter, she does extensions. They have these outgrowth. It's just kind of crazy, all of the things that we're not able to do because we're stuck in our houses. But it's also amazing how many things we can do. So that being said, it's one of the things too. My dad lives really far away from everyone else. He's elderly, and he's also somewhat disabled. He's got a lot of pain, back pain. He can't get around very much. His wife's got some health issues as well. Trying to get them a device to where they can actually video conference with us, and they're like, oh no, they're scared because there might be viruses. They've heard that Zoom is terrible. Zoom can cause cyber attacks, and I'm thinking, oh my god. And yet they'll go to the grocery store, right? So it's just trying to educate and be patient with people who tend to be a little bit naysayers. But I'll tell you, it's hard when you've been doing this and practicing this for a long time to hear other people say it can't be done when you're just trying to help them. So it's really nice when you come on here and you start talking about random stuff, just kind of what's going on right now. And you have people like yourself, if you care, that are responding positively and offering and agreeing and offering feedback. But it's extremely important, like I said, to be optimistic, to find solutions, and not to be a negative Nelly. Every single thing. We all know Debbie Downer from SNL, right? There's going to be a dark side of everything. There's going to be a risk with everything. It really is. The glass is always going to either be half full or half empty. So anyway, that's kind of something that came to mind today. Other than thinking of solutions, thinking of ways that, I can make a change for my day. I'm hoping that just by talking about it, you can come up with something too. And hopefully I've said something that's encouraged or influenced you. But I'm here surviving. I know people don't like to be on video. I'm not asking you to, but I am asking you to be open to talking to the loved ones that you have by using video through Facebook Messenger video Messenger, or Zoom, or House Party, or Marco Polo, or younger kids use the gaming, right? You don't even have to show your face, but just any alternatives you might have to being present and being physically present. It's really important because we all need to have solutions. I talked to one of my brothers. He said it was a really nice time. They had a cocktail party, and a lot of people are doing that too. So many things that you normally do in person, you can do with a Zoom or whatever other product is out there. And you can make it secure. If you're worried about being cyber attacked, you can actually put security measures on it. There's plenty of ways to do that. So just stop being afraid and stop being finding negativity in positive solutions, because it's really better than the alternative. And we're gonna make it through this, and the way to make it through it is being optimistic and finding solutions and helping each other and being loving and reaching out and helping people who are a little confused and lonely. And so that said, have an amazing remainder of your Saturday and weekend, and we will talk to you again tomorrow, I'm sure. All right, take care.